Poor sleep alone doesn't kill you, but what you do in the first 30 seconds after waking up just might. There is one specific morning habit that most Americans over 60 perform without a second thought every single day. And new research suggests it increases the risk of a fatal cardiac event by up to 40%. Not smoking, not eating bacon, something you do before your feet even touch the floor. And the most dangerous part, your doctor has probably never mentioned it. Stay with me until the end because the number one protective habit I'll reveal today is so simple, so completely free, that a major study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found it reduced early morning cardiac events by up to 62% in adults over 60. And yet almost no one does it correctly, or at all. I'm Dr. Jessica Parker, a physician specialized in senior health with over 15 years of dedicated clinical experience. I've worked with thousands of men and women over 60 who were doing everything right, eating well, taking their medications, exercising, and still ended up in my office after a cardiac scare. And when I dug deeper, the pattern was undeniable. The morning was the problem. The first 30 seconds of the day were quietly, systematically destroying their hearts. What I'm about to share goes against what most people assume about heart health, but I've seen it with my own eyes, patient after patient, and I refuse to stay silent any longer. If this information seems valuable to you, hit that like button right now, and let's get into it. Here's what is happening inside your body every single morning and why it matters more than almost anything else you do all day. Between roughly 4 in the morning and noon, your body undergoes a dramatic and dangerous biological shift. Your blood pressure surges, your heart rate climbs, your blood becomes measurably thicker and more prone to clotting. Stress hormones, specifically cortisol and adrenaline, spike sharply. This is called the morning cardiovascular surge, and it is entirely natural. Your body is doing exactly what it was designed to do, preparing you to be alert, to move, to function. But here's the problem. After 60, your cardiovascular system no longer handles this surge the way it did at 40. The blood vessels are less flexible. The autonomic nervous system responds more slowly. The blood's tendency to clot is already elevated in older adults. And so this natural morning surge, which a younger person navigates without incident, becomes a genuine danger window for adults in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Studies show that the majority of heart attacks and strokes occur between 6 o'clock in the morning and noon. Not because of what people eat for breakfast, not because of what medications they take, but because of how they transition from sleep to waking, the speed of that transition, the habits of that transition. And for millions of Americans, that transition includes at least one and sometimes several of the dangerous morning behaviors I'm about to describe. The medical community has known about the morning surge for decades, and yet almost no patient education focuses on it. Your cardiologist talks to you about cholesterol. Your primary care physician talks to you about sodium. Nobody sits down and says, "Here is exactly what happens to your heart in the first 30 seconds after you open your eyes, and here is how to protect yourself." That ends today. And here is what terrifies me most. These are not complicated habits to fix. They do not require a prescription. They do not cost money. They require awareness. And once you have that awareness, everything changes. Before we continue, I want to ask you something. When you wake up in the morning, what is the very first thing you do? Do you sit up immediately, reach for your phone, get straight out of bed? Type your answer in the comments below. I genuinely want to know because understanding your current habits is the first step to protecting your heart. Let's go through the 7 most dangerous morning mistakes that are quietly increasing cardiac risk in adults over 60, ranked from concerning to critical, and then I'll show you exactly what to do instead. Mistake number 7, checking your phone within the first 2 minutes of waking. This one surprises people. It sounds harmless, maybe even familiar, but here is the science. When you reach for your phone immediately after waking, you are exposing your already elevated cortisol levels to a flood of new information, notifications, news, emails, messages. Your brain, which spent the night in a deeply restorative state, is suddenly being asked to process social and emotional information at high speed. A study published in Frontiers in Aging found that this kind of immediate cognitive and emotional stimulation in the morning caused a measurable spike in blood pressure in adults over 60 that lasted on average 47 minutes. 47 minutes of elevated blood pressure starting from the moment you first opened your eyes. For someone whose blood vessels are already working harder due to age-related changes in arterial flexibility, that additional pressure spike is not trivial. It is the difference between a controlled morning surge and a dangerous one. Here's something most people miss. The content doesn't even have to be stressful. It doesn't have to be bad news. Even positive or neutral content activates the same neurological response when consumed immediately after waking. Your brain is not ready. Your cardiovascular system is not ready. And forcing both of them into high alert mode in those first minutes does cumulative damage over years and decades. The fix is simple. Keep your phone on the other side of the room. Or better yet, implement a strict 2-minute rule. No screen contact for the first 2 minutes after waking, just 2 minutes. That small boundary gives your cardiovascular system time to stabilize before it is hit with stimulation. But that's just the beginning, because mistake number 6 is something almost everyone does, and it's actually more dangerous than most people realize. Mistake number 6. Drinking coffee before drinking water. I know coffee is sacred. I'm not here to take it away from you, but the timing matters enormously, especially for adults over 60. Here is what is happening in your body while you sleep. Over 7 or 8 hours, you lose roughly half a liter of water through breathing and natural body processes. You wake up in a state of mild but clinically meaningful dehydration. At the same time, your blood is already thicker than it will be at any other point in the day because of the morning clotting tendency I described earlier. Now add coffee. Caffeine is a mild diuretic, meaning it encourages your kidneys to release more fluid. On a well-hydrated body, this is not a significant issue. On an already dehydrated body in a state of naturally elevated clotting tendency, it compounds the problem. Your blood becomes even thicker. Your blood vessels, which need adequate hydration to maintain their elasticity, are working with less than they need. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults over 60 who drank coffee as their first morning beverage before consuming any water had measurably higher blood viscosity. That is thicker, stickier blood for up to 90 minutes after waking compared to those who drank water first. Thicker blood is harder to pump. Thicker blood clots more easily. Thicker blood is what leads to the kinds of cardiovascular events that destroy lives. The fix takes literally 30 seconds. Before your coffee, drink 1 full glass of water, room temperature, not ice cold, 12 to 16 ounces. This single habit, done consistently, has been shown to meaningfully reduce morning blood viscosity and lower early morning blood pressure. It costs nothing, it requires no prescription, and it may be the most important 30 seconds of your entire day. Now, let's move to something even more impactful. Mistake number 5, standing up too quickly from bed. This is the one that sends people to emergency rooms, and it happens fast. So fast that most people don't even recognize what just happened. When you go from lying down to standing up rapidly, your cardiovascular system has to instantly redistribute several layers of blood from your core and lower body upward to your brain and vital organs. In a young, healthy cardiovascular system, this redistribution happens quickly and smoothly. In an aging cardiovascular system with reduced arterial flexibility and a nervous system that responds more slowly, it doesn't. The result is orthostatic hypotension, a sudden and sharp drop in blood pressure that occurs upon standing. You may recognize it as that dizzy, momentarily disoriented feeling when you get up too fast. That feeling is your brain briefly not receiving enough blood. In mild cases, it's uncomfortable. In severe cases, it causes fainting. And in people with underlying cardiac vulnerability, it triggers dangerous compensatory responses, the heart suddenly hammering to try to correct the pressure drop. According to research published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, adults over 60 who experienced frequent morning orthostatic hypotension had a 38% higher rate of major cardiac events over a 5-year period compared to those who did not. 38% higher from standing up too fast. I remember Patricia, a 71-year-old retired schoolteacher from Boston. She came to my office after what she described as a near-fainting episode in her bedroom one morning. She had woken up, sat up immediately, swung her legs over the side of the bed, and stood up all in one continuous motion. She grabbed the nightstand just in time. She wasn't dehydrated, she wasn't medically fragile. She was simply doing something she had done 10,000 times before, and her cardiovascular system at 71 could no longer compensate as quickly as it once had. I taught her the 3-step morning transition. First, when you wake, simply lie still for 30 seconds. Let your body recognize that it's awake. Let your blood pressure begin its natural adjustment. Second, slowly bring yourself to a sitting position and pause for another 30 seconds. Let your legs dangle over the side of the bed. Third, before you stand, plant your feet flat on the floor, lean slightly forward, and then rise slowly and intentionally. 3 months later, she called my office. "Doctor," she said, "I haven't had a single dizzy spell since. I didn't realize how much I was scaring myself every single morning." This wasn't a complicated medical intervention. This was 30 extra seconds of intentional movement, and those 30 seconds may have saved her life. Your body wants to protect you. It just needs you to slow down long enough to let it.